Tenet Media is a right-wing company founded in 2023 in Canada, and Channel 4 did a piece last night about this, and they interviewed my friend Caolan Robertson about it, and he knows lots of the people. In fact, I'll play you a little bit of this.
Influencers that would echo the Kremlin's message to dilute support for Ukraine and bolster support for another Trump presidency. His reaction to the indictment today.
Yesterday they're bringing up Russia again, that they've done for years. Never found anything.
Well, they've done it for years because it's probably true.
Anybody from Russia in years, they know that, but it's a scam.
This is alt-right YouTuber Lauren Chen, the founder of Tenet Media, who it's alleged received money illegally from Russia. So, who is she?
Do you think there should be any restrictions on abortion?
Up until
This is
about
Caolan.
5 years ago, Caolan Robertson was himself an alt-right YouTuber and influencer, has since done a complete volte-face. He knows many of the people involved in these circles, including Lauren Chen, the Canadian founder of Tenet Media.
I first met Lauren Chen in 2018. She was at a rally organized by Tommy Robinson. That rally was covered really heavily by Russia Today. And back then she was growing her online presence. Her contact book was very vast. She basically has the phone numbers of most of the hugely influential right-wing figures in North America and in Europe. She's worked with almost all of them. And I think that's probably why the Russians looked to her to set up Tenet, because she could recruit some of the biggest personalities for that network.
We've asked
Now, it seems to me that Tenet Media hasn't knowingly been promoting a Russian interpretation of events. It haven't knowingly been promoting some sort of Russian propaganda. But nevertheless, they've been doing what they do. And why is this of interest to Russia? Why would Russia want to pump money into this sort of organization? Because it is questioning the system, because it is questioning the way things run in the West, and because it is spreading discord. And that seems to be the common denominator. And in fact, if I go back to my own experience in 2015 or so, when I was involved with the UKIP, infiltrating UKIP and eventually calling UKIP out as racist, and specifically Nigel Farage, and I had my spat with Farage on the BBC, and the links with Humza Yousaf and stuff. When I went back to Russia, because I was teaching there, I was I was very much involved in running a department, the education department, and the rector of the university and some of his friends were extremely interested. In fact, I'd never known them so interested in what I had to say. They were very interested in the stories that I was telling about Farage and exposing Farage and UKIP as racist, and the sort of the excitement of it all. But now I think back, I think it is very odd that they were so interested, and very odd that these people then encouraged me to talk to other people about it and tell my story. And I remember at that particular time, I was then suddenly invited to talk in MGIMO and to talk in the Presidential Academy. Of course, MGIMO is directly linked to all these stories. MGIMO, one of the people in MGIMO is one of the people who is linked to stories about Putin's death, oddly. But I sort of had a ringside seat to this without realizing it. And it seems that Russia is interested in spreading confusion, in spreading chaos, in disseminating a sort of fog of questioning authority, questioning direction. And of course, the ultimate question was Brexit, which led to Britain and Europe both totally obsessed, completely insulated from the rest of the world, from global politics, with its self-indulgent divorce, which has led to no positives at all, either for Europe or for Britain. But certainly during that time, Putin was able to go into Crimea and was able to go into Ukraine. That distraction, that level of distraction. And I think that's really where the big issue is. Of course, Tenet Media has got its roster of conservative influencers: Tim Pool, Benny Johnson, Dave Rubin, and others. And the indictment of the two Russian nationals, Konstantin Kalashnikov and Elena Afanasieva. Kalashnikov is somebody who I feel I've come across before, and I can't remember where. But they have apparently funneled $10 million into Tenet Media without necessarily telling Lauren how it should be used. They've allegedly used the platform, therefore, not necessarily to spread pro-Russian propaganda, but to sow discord, to amplify divisive content, particularly targeting American domestic issues such as immigration, inflation, and the promotion of Trump. Trump, of course, as in the Channel 4 thing here, absolutely denies any involvement. He doesn't need to have any involvement. And although Tenet Media was not named directly in the indictment, evidence points to it as the company involved. And many of the influencers linked to the platform, such as Tim Pool and Benny Johnson, have denied any knowledge of Russian involvement, claiming that they were victims of manipulation. And of course, Tenet has reached out beyond the pool of of the people who are on screen to use other people behind screen to edit, to collect information, to write scripts and so on, who probably quite innocently were getting on with stuff and were quite happy to receive some sort of payment for their efforts. And this is the point. There's a large number of people here who have been duped by a very, very effective Russian ploy, Kremlin ploy, that should be up there with some of the best counter-espionage stories that exist. This is remarkable. In the end, of course, it's been exposed. But the fact that this has been exposed starts to add weight to the theories that Russia has been actively involved in sowing discord for a long time. And this then links in with the troll factories or troll farms. We would call them troll farms. Russia would call them troll factories that have been promoted by Prigozhin and funded by Prigozhin. This is another war, but this has been ongoing since at least 2013. And the indictment about Tenet accuses Kalashnikov and Afanasieva of setting up a shell company in the US to launder money to fund this covert media operation. It's been exposed. It's violating the Foreign Agents Registration Act. And the company's content has reportedly gained over 16 million views on platforms like YouTube before its operations were halted by the US government. In response to the charges, Tenet Media has shut down, and its founders are currently under investigation. But I think the more they are questioned, the more the US is going to run up against brick walls, because these people don't know how duped they have been. These people are part of a very complex web, and Tenet Media is certainly not the only site to have been targeted and to have been funded and to have been cajoled into this level of confusion. And this influence runs deep.